My name is Todd Alder. I'm the CEO and Managing Director of Orbital UAV. Orbital UAV is a small to medium enterprise and is an example of what is possible here in Western Australia. We are a collective of staff that are dedicated and passionate about delivering some of the finest technology into some of the biggest defence contractors. It's a journey that we're particularly proud of, and we like to tell. So I would like to specifically thank the Western Australian Government and, of course, the Perth US Asia Centre for the opportunity to talk about our company. What is and who are we, Orbital UAV? We supply the propulsion systems into tactical UAVs. Simply, we build engines into military drones. What is a tactical drone, and who are the major players in the tactical drone landscape? A tactical drone typically flies for 8 to 24 hours. It carries a 20-kilogram payload and is used for surveillance, intelligence, and reconnaissance mission support. There are two major players, Textron Systems and Boeing in situ. Examples are the Aerosonde and the Scan Eagle. Orbital UAV's journey started with the design of the engine for Textron's Aerosonde platform. And from here, we leveraged some learnings and some experience, and we were fortunate enough to win the global down select process for the design, the development, and the manufacture and supply for in situ's propulsion system for the Scan Eagle. This for Orbital UAV, marked the first time that we were transitioning from an engineering services business into a manufacturer into the aerospace and defence industry. Off the back of our win with Boeing in situ, we concentrated over the last, 3 years on what else we could do, how else we could support our good customer Boeing in situ. And through that work, we were fortunate enough in October 2018 to announce a long-term agreement with Boeing in situ to supply the propulsion systems across their complete platform of tactical drones. Now, why do Textron and Boeing have such confidence in our propulsion systems? Firstly, it's our end-to-end approach to a propulsion system. So we don't just look at it as an engine, but we look at how that engine integrates into the avionics, into the aero package, into the payload integration, and into how the customer, the end customer, uses a propulsion system. This has led, if you like, and I'm pointing up here on the screen, that is the complete back half of the tactical drone. That's what we as a Western Australian small to medium enterprise supply into Boeing in situ. 4 bolts, 1 connector, and you have your complete back half of the drone with all your propulsion system needs and all your electrical requirements to drive your multi-int payloads that will be in that tactical drone. Our revolutionary fuel delivery provides the greatest durability and time between overhauls. That propulsion subsystem will last for 500 hours compared to our closest competitor of 50 hours before a time between overhaul. It has built-in redundancies and live diagnostics that are industry firsts and have led to unsurpassed in-theatre performance. The full modularity means zero maintenance out in the field, reducing another potential point of failure in a propulsion system for tactical drones. The superior payload integration, as our tactical drones are requiring to carry more payloads, our propulsion system enables you to include a payload in the aft of the vehicle, and all you need to do to swap in and out different aft payloads is a Phillips head screwdriver and your thumbs. Ready to fly. The propulsion system cold starts first time. It will start cold even if you're in an environment of negative 30 degrees. Now this compares to every alternative heavy fuel propulsion system that requires 20 minutes warm-up cycle before you can start the engine, a warm-up procedure. All right, 20 minutes. There's a lot of nautical miles that a tactical drone has covered with an orbital engine on the back of it compared to other alternatives. So we're really proud, I suppose, of what we've achieved and the support that we can provide to our defence community. Yeah. But as an SME based here in Perth, how did we get here? First of all, there was the acknowledgement of what we had as far as IP in our engine management systems, some patented fuel components, and some really clever individuals in our business. From here, we got the acknowledgement that we could develop a prototype that demonstrated 10 times the reliability and 10 times the durability of anything else that was out there. That was our first step. Our second step was how do we integrate that and how do we continue to better integrate with our customer? Do we go and sell the components on their own and some licensing, or do we put together an engine? And of course we chose, let's put together an engine. So we put together an engine, but then we kept asking the question, how do we better integrate? What does that engine integrate with? The prop, avionics, payloads, Boeing's assembly process. How can we better integrate with all those? And of course, from the engine, then the subsystem was born. And we're very happy with, obviously, the propulsion subsystem that we provide for the tactical drone vehicles. Matter of fact, we were so happy, we marvelled at what we had created. We even celebrated our achievement. What we didn't quite know then, it was a step from a prototype or a low-rate production to becoming a true quality aerospace and defence supplier. So what were some of the additional learnings that we have had on the way to sort of establishing ourselves as a credible aerospace and defence supplier? Well, first, as an engineering business originally, we had our engineers wanting to run the business. But we needed other skill sets in our business. We needed program management, people that are experts at delivering projects on time, schedule and cost, experts at sort of managing the often changing requirements of our end customer. We have 190 different suppliers to provide the components that we need worldwide, to come in on time and on spec. So we needed actually some supply chain management experience. These are all things that previously our engineers were saying, yeah, we can do all that, we can do all that. We learnt and we planned, in some case we painfully learnt that we needed experts in these particular areas. Customer integration. Perth is a wonderful place to work for its talent, the skill sets we can bring on board. But the time zone when we have our major client in the northwest of America can be a little challenging at times. There are also some logistics. So we set up a satellite facility in Oregon and Washington to work better with our customer. End user engagement. It was a weakness that we saw in our strategy. We didn't have an end user, and I was very happy to announce at the end of July that we have appointed retired Colonel Keith Hirschman, who has first-hand experience of missions under UAVs and as a director and program manager for the Army's Emerging Technologies team. With Keith, we hope to learn more about the evolving requirements from the users of tactical drones. We already know that there is an increasing demand for rapid deployment. There is a demand for extended range or beyond visual line of sight through satellite connectivity. VTOL is a requirement, vertical takeoff and landing, further reducing the footprint of a tactical drone. And manned and unmanned teaming. And through Keith and working with the end customers and Boeing, we would like to work and continue our continual improvement in our business and support these. So the tactical UAV industry is growing, evolving and becoming a more integral part of the modern defence force. So I'd like to conclude my 10-minute speed dating session with a summary of a discussion I recently had with our recently appointed Keith Hirschman, a VP in the US, who said, "We now have an entire generation of military leaders that grew up with UAS systems overhead while in active combat. We hear every day that combat leaders will not accept a gap in ISR coverage when they take their forces outside the wire. UAVs provide an unblinking eye that allow our leaders to understand their environment and gain vital situational awareness before they engage. That is what Orbital UAV is supporting, and everyone at Orbital UAV understands this is why we come to work. We have a clear vision and strategy, and we plan to do everything we can to deliver on this commitment." Thank you.